Well, welcome everybody to today's meeting. Let me see. Tony Daniels, he would join, but I don't see him. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Tony Guru is coming in.
Tony Guri, yes.
We have at least one Tony. Okay, well, this is it. I mean, as far as it seems, as far as it is suggested, as far as it feels, this is it. Sitting in the Zoom. And there's nothing else. It's funny because there isn't even a this to be it or a it to be this already. At the same time, as far as it seems, there's just sitting in a Zoom, seeing some faces, words, sounds, and there's nothing apart from this as a separated you for whom this is playing. There we have Tony. So that's just simply the directness of whatever seems to be happening. Voices, movement, stones, sticks, houses, birds, and there's nothing else, and not even nothing else. There's just no separation. Of course, this is just words and, suggestions, and there's maybe a liking of it or not, and that's it too. There's no one owning these words, there's no one owning this, there's no one separated from this, able to get this. And there isn't even a this to be it or it to be this. So where to go from here? Well, I don't know.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere, nowhere, it doesn't mean, thinking that there is somewhere to go with this may happen. So there's nothing here which wants to tip or make something clear, although it may seem like that. This is just words stumbling out. And, thinking that there is more or feeling separated from this doesn't need to change.
Sweetheart, may I ask you, what do you mean? What do you mean by as far as it seems? Why are you using this expression, as far as it seems?
Well, that's a good question. Well, as far as it seems, because there's no way to be sure what the hell is going on. As in, there's no one separated from this, able to step outside of this and to know if this is actually happening or not, if this is a dream or if this is real or...
So in a way, this implies that when there is someone who can know this, he would say, this is happening, but not like apparently. This is going to be a full-on reality.
Yeah,
and when,
yes, you
and
can.
when there is no sense of separation, let's put it like this, then it's impossible to claim that this is really happening.
Oh yeah, but either way, it doesn't matter so much. I mean, so this is just as far as it seems here. It's pointing to the so-called unknowability and nothing more, nothing less. But at the same time, claiming that this is actually happening, really happening. There's no issue with those types of claims. That is just also what seems to be the case then, thinking this is real or feeling, the feeling that this is really happening for me may happen. Yes. It doesn't need to change. It's just what's happening.
Sweetheart, I have a second question, and then I'm sorry, a lot of questions. It's strange here. When we say that there is no separation, how can there be an experience? In order to experience something, there must be two or one at least.
Well, yeah, of course, making this very logical in how can there be an experience when there is no other able to experience this, so there cannot be an experience. It's quite logical, but at the same
It's
time,
just blah blah.
we can
It's just blah
say
blah.
we can say there's just the experience seeing it
Hmm.
happen. There's no one separated from the experience. One can say the experience is you.
Full on the directness of what is.
Mm.
So yeah,
So there's no
no,
separated experiencer.
yeah, okay,
But anyway, it's just words. So we can
yeah,
also we can say there's just the self.
yeah,
It's just the self, nothing else. There's no separated self doing the selfing. Or you can basically use any word. It's just words. If you don't like the self, then you say
yeah.
there's God. There's no separated God doing the Godding, or no separated energy doing the energying, or whatever.
And what about being?
Well, it's basically, I would say there's just beingness. There's no one
Yeah,
be or not to be, or
yeah.
I amness. We can say there's just I amness. But maybe there are some other people who want to go into the I amness or the beingness. But so there's just simply no separation. There's no separated you for whom this seems to happen, and there's not even an actual happening as a this, as an it.
Hi, Sander.
Tony,
Am I on time? Have you? I
you're
got a
right
bit
on time. Yes, you're right on
Oh,
time.
I got a bit confused because the Central European time
Flip.
changed the clocks
Yeah.
on.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So yeah, now you're right on time. I mean, welcome. I was telling everybody you would show up probably.
Yeah, you've made it even later for me now because you moved the clocks forward. So it's now 2 o'clock in the morning for me instead of 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God, yeah.
But I had to be here because I missed watching Rosa eating because she's always eating. It's a
Okay,
joy.
Tony. So I can say to you, good morning, first of all.
Good morning. Good morning.
And now you can enjoy watching me eating. By the way, it
Yeah, I
tastes
know.
yummy, yummy, yummy.
You must love your food.
Oh, totally,
I
totally.
don't know. Actually, I don't know what you eat, but I absolutely love German food.
Well, I guess it's not German what I'm eating,
Oh,
but I
okay.
am in Germany.
Yeah, okay. I was just going to say I like Italian food, I like French food, I like Indian food. I mean, yeah, we could spend the next hour talking about food. But anyway, yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh God, fantastic.
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
all zoomed out. Actually, I'm all zoomed out this week because I had a Zoom with Gregory Miller and Rosa. I noticed you were tagged in on a little message from Gregory after that meeting on the Non-Duality Cafe.
you want to share something, Tony, about that meeting? Anything is coming up?
Well, actually, yeah, I saw the recording of it and I was a bit disappointed
Okay.
because the meeting went on for 1 hour, 40 minutes.
Mm.
But James edited it down to 60 minutes, to about
Oh,
58 minutes. And there was a lot of good stuff that was, kind of missing. I mean, there was a nice moment when, Gregory was talking about Ramana Maharshi, and he'd read all these stories about him. And then he said, oh, Ramana liked animals a lot. And I said, oh, yeah, that's true. He did. And in fact, one of the things, a lot of monkeys used to go to the ashram, linger around there. And, monkeys are always fighting and bickering or whatever. And Ramana used to sit down and kind of sort out all their disputes. And we had a really nice little chat about all these Ramana animal stories. And it was really beautiful because I was kind of really connecting with Gregory on a different kind of level, because Gregory just speaks non-stop. I mean, he just doesn't stop. You know, it's and when we were talking about Ramana
Tony,
and
I
his
would say
animals, it's great.
a little bit like you are, non-stop
Yes,
speaking.
yes, that's true. So that's why I recognize it. Yeah. So anyway, but no, Sander asked me about the meeting, so I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
you know what? I think these Zoom meetings are better when they're unedited. I mean,
Yes.
you don't edit yours, because just the full raw unedited version,
Yes.
because that's what is.
Yes,
So,
I agree. I
yeah.
totally, I agree. I mean, there's no editing going on. You know, stuff being said is stuff being said. You know, there's no making it more nice, making it more non-dual, or making it, you know, cutting only out the good pieces and leaving out the so-called bad pieces. The meeting is just a meeting.
I disagree.
But
I disagree.
oh,
I would definitely go and cut stuff out, but I'm simply too lazy. I'm not investing the time in this.
yeah, I mean, if you do, I mean, of course, you're using your own judgment to decide what are the good bits, and what are the less interesting bits. Somebody else might have a different idea about that, but I mean, I think he probably thought that 90, 100 minutes was too much. That probably an hour was enough for most people to watch. But then again, nobody's forcing you to watch it, right? So
No. And, you know, when we comes to, so here, you know, this meeting, when it's done, it's done. Then there is a, you know, most of the time, I would say 99 of 100 times, it's placed on the channel. And there's no watching back, there's no going over it, or it's with all the so-called films I make. It's like there's no interest in watching them more. It's done, it's out, it's finito, it's yeah.
yeah.
It is what it is. The whole of
It
it.
is what it is. I was thinking about what you said to me the other day, and it's worth repeating, because Sander says, "I'm not saying there is no me. I'm saying there is no separate me," and I absolutely agree with that statement.
Exactly. Yeah. So this has come. I think this is. I mean, maybe this is not so clear. I don't know. But here, there's no. Sorry, Rosa. Go ahead.
No, sorry, but to absolutely agree with this, I would say, and not even this.
I'm not sure what that means, but
well, me too. I'm also not sure, but just I wanted simply to say this.
I mean, the crazy thing is that there's this sort of transaction that takes place, isn't there? Because, when a thought appears, there is no one who's deciding to think this thought. I mean, and if I move or walk or whatever, there isn't a little man inside me pulling strings and levers. So whatever happens, whatever I experience, it just comes from nowhere. It's just, there's no one deciding what thought I'm going to think next. And if I decide in the morning I'm going to go for a walk, then I just have this impulse to go for a walk. I don't have a conversation with myself. But the crazy thing is, Rosa, if you ask me later, "Hey, Tony, what did you do in the morning?" I might say, "I decided to go for a walk." So then I kind of own what I did before. But at the time it happened, it was completely spontaneous. So that's
Correct.
the kind of crazy thing about it, isn't it?
And I think, not to quote anyone, but I think Nisargadatta was once saying that ownership is claimed after the so-called activity. But so here there's no one separated claiming the ownership.
Yeah.
There's no one separated afterwards claiming the ownership. There's just the claimer claiming ownership of the action. But it's equally no one separated. There's no separated me doing that claiming as such.
You can only use the word separate if you talk about two things, can't you? I mean, one
Yes.
thing has to be separate from another.
Yes,
You can't have something that's
exactly. So
separate
that's the point
from
being.
itself. But we do that all the time, don't we? In normal language. I mean, I'm sure everyone has used this phrase, "I've changed my mind." You know, you're going to do something, you change your mind. I mean, that's an interesting phrase because I changed my mind. That assumes there is this I
Exactly.
who owns a mind, and that I has decided to change it in some way, so that there are two people inside you, which of
Exactly.
course,
Exactly,
yeah.
Tony. And you know, from a young age, I never got when people, parents or teachers say, well, you have to love yourself more, or you have to, you know, when there was, I was always amazed to who they are talking. Who is that other one then who could love this one, or, you know, be better? You have to be more liking, you know, you have to love yourself. How is that even possible? Who is there then to love this, you know? What is separated to love this or to hate this? When there is already nothing separated. There, like you said, there's no one in this body, you know, deciding to stand up as something which is separated from the body. There's just eyes opening, activity. You know, we can say there's just a naked functioning or the dysfunctioning, but there's no one separated making it function or not function.
Yeah, there is no doer, but yet deeds are done.
Yes.
But I am not there.
Sorry?
Deeds are done, but I am not there.
Well, yeah, we can say it like that, yes.
Could do, yes.
I mean, you know, there's no
There
one.
is we could say that there is a psychosomatic functioning, right? A psychosomatic functioning, but I am not there. I am not that. It's just
If
a
you
way
don't
of
want to
of
say,
putting-
if you don't want to say I'm experiencing it, then you can just say there is the experiencing of it.
Yeah, so the lights are burning, but there's no one home.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that the most simple things, the very interpretation of any event is also an afterthought. The first impression that comes in without interpretation, then you need a certain time, a fraction of a second to interpret what is happening, to make sense. Oh yeah, this is a room. Oh yeah, that's a tree. You always need that afterthought to interpret what is happening, right?
Yeah, I always say that being in the moment is already being in the past.
Yeah.
Because if by what you mean being in the moment, you're talking about an object, a tree or whatever, then as soon as you've perceived it or as soon as you've had a thought, it's already in the past.
Oh,
So a lot of people talk about being in the moment in terms of being with what is happening, you know, on the outside, but that happening is already, it's already gone.
Yes.
yeah.
And I mean, it's hard, you know, we can say there's just the now, or we can say there's just this, the directness of whatever seems to happening. It's hard to stay in this as there's nothing separated from the so-called now. There isn't even a now or a this to be in. It's hard to stay in the so-called now when there is just now and not even a now.
So would you say that you're
Say?
outside of space? Would you say that you're outside of space and time?
No,
That's a dangerous. That's
See, I've used the word you, but it depends on what you mean by you, right?
yeah, I would say there's just space and time as it seems. There's nothing else. TikTok, it's already time, it's already space. But
yeah.
I mean, at the same time, it's just another certain pointing to no separation. We can all
Yeah,
use all these types of phrases. There's just time, there's just the now, there's just what's happening. It's all pointing to the undivided wholeness and nothing else. It's just, but in a way, it doesn't matter so much. That's the whole thing. I mean, feeling like separated from this or not feeling separated from this or wanting to not feel separated is in a way inescapable, because there is already no you in it able to escape it. The sense of feeling separate, there's no one in that sense as a separated you who's able to step out of that sense of feeling apart from this.
Well, it's the wanting that makes it feel separate, isn't it?
Exactly, yes, we can say it like that. So we
because
talk,
that's creating a division
yes,
between.
I like the way some people put it, that appearances is timelessness appearing as time, no thingness appearing as things, no events appearing as events. Not that there is something outside watching things and events. It is the very no events, the very no things that are appearing as events and things, just appearing.
yes, it's a very popular. I hear it a lot. Nothing appearing as everything. It's energy appearing as things, and it's after a while it becomes like a new certain type of reality. A certain landing where you really believe that there is nothing appearing as a bunch of things. Oh, finally,
No, but
I-
I was not actually. I was not referring to Tony or to the non-dual radical stuff. No, I really mean that there is no separation between some kind of an observer, some kind of an awareness, and appearances.
yes.
It is the very non-appearing and the appearing are the same. They are not separate.
Okay, yeah.
You just reminded me of something that you said last week, because actually, even though I wasn't here, I actually watched the recordings and there was some really, really good discussion.
156 minutes, Tony. Come on.
Sorry?
Did you
What?
watch the whole show?
I watched the whole of the week before last and about half of last week's. No, how could I miss it? But no, you said something, Giovanni. Is it Giovanni?
Yeah.
You said something really interesting last week, which I thought you said we were talking about concepts, and you said you didn't want to be in a position where you were bringing that concept forward as a kind of intention. Do you remember that?
Not really.
Oh, okay. It was just interesting because nobody wants it to be a concept. People want it to be natural. If what we're saying is, look, there is just this, it's spontaneous, it's just arising, there is no doership. We want that to be effortless and choiceless, right? And I think you were making a point that you don't want to take that forward as a kind of concept that you have to think about. Okay, I mean, if you can't remember, okay, but it was just something that struck me that was quite interesting that you said.
It makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Don't-
once you recognize that it is a concept, there is no problem, right? Because concepts are just concepts like anything else, right?
Like trees.
That's what I was gonna say, is I was gonna say that what's wrong with a concept?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with concepts at all. But it's like saying, it's like talking about being spontaneous. You know, everything is spontaneous. There's no
Yes,
getting away from it.
already.
exactly.
But then again, you might not feel like it's spontaneous. So look, I mean, everybody has had this experience, haven't they? You get out of the bed in the morning and everything just seems so effortless and easy. And the kinds of things that might trigger you, they just kind of breeze over you. You sort of ignore them because you're sort of a kind of a carefree attitude, aren't you? But then another day you get out of bed and it feels like you're walking through jelly, and everything, the most trivial thing gets you annoyed and you get triggered easily, whatever. So in both cases, everything is happening spontaneously.
Spontaneously, yes.
But in the second case, you don't feel like it is because there's just there is more of that separation or that sense of separation that you were talking about.
Well, but that the lack of feeling that it's spontaneously is already spontaneously not there.
Oh yes, of course, yes, yes.
And there's no you separated to do anything about it already. Yet
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to make
yeah.
it feel more spontaneously is already spontaneously happening or not.
That's true, but I'm just talking about the subjective feeling that you might have about it,
Yeah, the funny thing
which
is,
of course is already this, but it's
of
still,
course,
it's a subjective feeling, right?
yes.
Yeah.
I think because we choose between good and bad.
No, no.
What
I
is
don't think.
bad? What is bad? We
Well, of course,
reject.
that choice is just happening spontaneously. It's just
Yeah, it
presented
is,
to
it
you,
is.
isn't it? I mean, when you make a choice between A and B, and you pick B, that's already just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you
Um,
said that sometimes you wake up in the morning and things just are not well, right? And
Yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
that they are not well because in that morning you made the separation between good and bad, and you say what is good is okay, I take it. What is bad, I don't take it.
Oh, okay.
And this
Actually,
taking
yeah,
and not
understand.
taking is already
I
the
wasn't
separation.
even, yeah, I wasn't even talking about making judgments. I wasn't even talking about being judgmental. I was just talking about how your day goes, that you're going to get annoyed and you're going to get
Yeah.
triggered and things are going to seem difficult. I mean, without sort of analyzing, in terms of good or bad. The question is why, so maybe on those good days, you're more in touch with the wholeness, and on the bad day you're disconnected from the wholeness,
Well,
is one way you could put it.
yes, but the funny thing is there's already no one connected to wholeness able to lose the connection of wholeness.
Mm-hmm.
Tony, wouldn't you say that wholeness? So somebody who's shooting up heroin on the street,
Yeah.
that's wholeness appearing as somebody
Mm.
shooting up heroin on the street. That's already wholeness, whole and complete.
Yeah,
Well,
but that's taking a view from one side, isn't it? I mean, there is you're talking about some kind of absolute value, but there is also a relative value. The person who's shooting up heroin, that's happening on a relative level. I mean, there are different, there are differences. There are, we can make judgments about what's happening. It's on a relative level. It's all very well talking
Yeah,
in
but
these,
that
non-dual terms about, everything is wholeness, but there is this aspect that is manifesting or is expressing itself in a relative terms.
well, the whole
And
but there
story.
is no separation between the relative and the absolute. That's why
no, there
I
isn't.
brought up the
That's
point that
true. Yeah.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, there isn't even a thing to be whole or not whole. Wholeness itself
Correct.
is just another I mean,
Well, you know, Sander, I mean, ultimately words are,
yes,
very limited, right? I mean,
yes.
we kind of do the best we can in expressing these things with words. But, when you're completely silent and there's not a thought in your mind, you're still you. Whether you put a different shirt on or different shoes or get a different haircut, you still have this sense of self, which is that you are you.
No, that sense is not
No,
happening here. Sorry. I told you this before. Here, there is no sense of a me.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's
Well,
not what I'm saying.
but then I get it wrong when you're saying you're still you.
Oh,
There's still a sense of,
okay. So what do you mean by a sense of me then? What do you mean by that? Because maybe we're talking cross purposes. I'm not.
well, there is no sense of a me or a sense of a no me. So basically, there's no sense of separation.
Yeah,
There's no,
you said there's no sense of a separate me,
well,
and I agree with that.
so let me say it. There's no sense of separation from whatever,
Yeah,
from the seat, from the room, from
I
object,
accept that. Yeah,
from
yeah, I
and
accept that.
calling that the self or the me is just let's
Okay, let me
that's
put it
in the
this way.
middle.
When you wake up, when you sleep, you wake up in the morning, uh, you become, you come out of deep sleep into the waking, you wake up, and before a single thought comes into your mind, you know that you are you because you don't shout out, where the fuck am I? What am I doing here? Who am I? You don't, do you? Because without a single thought or memory or anything, you know that you are you,
No,
which is not dependent on personality,
no.
individuality, nothing like that.
That's not happening. Sorry. There's just waking up. There's no sense of a me or
Mm.
no me.
Mhm.
There's no knowing in that sense. There's just waking up, activities, thoughts, emotions, whatever seems to be the case.
But Sander, wouldn't that give the impression then that there's a somebody named Sander that has something special?
Well, I don't, to be honest, if that is the case, then that is the case. I mean, this is just an expression how it is. Here, there's no sense of specialness, so, but if you think that's something special, well, have fun with it. This
Well,
was
no,
I, I'm just,
simple the
yeah.
case. I
I'm,
cannot
I'm
do
saying
anything
I'm,
about it.
what I'm saying is that there might be somebody who feels like they are a somebody that wakes up in the morning and says,
Well,
I'm a me.
great. That's it. So what's the
So is
problem?
there, well, so what I'm saying is that there's nobody that has something special already.
Yeah, but that I'm not saying that it is special. That's I don't even have to say that. This is
Well,
not
so
about
so
specialness.
but can you see that some people might look at that and say, well, somebody you wake up and you're not a me,
Yes?
and so there's something special here about this person, like Satguru. Some people might say Satguru has something special, or Ramana Maharshi, because he
Yeah.
has no sense of a me.
So what about that? So people think it's special. People think that things are stupid or not special or special. So,
there is a center, but it's not a sense of me. The physical or psychosomatic center
no,
that is functioning. Why not?
no, it's not the case. I just know, I don't know how to explain it.
Sandra, I was just going back to what you said originally when you said, I'm not saying there is no me, I'm saying there is no separate me, which I agree with.
So I said there's just this, and we can call this there's me or awareness. There's just simply no separation.
Agree with that also.
And
So what's left?
well, what is already just simply the case? What is left is
Mm.
it was already just simply like that. There's also no sense of being here or the absence of being not here. There's not a certain sense of wholeness, but there's also no sense of incompleteness. It's
So
not
if
that I
somebody,
feel whole. It's not that I don't feel that I'm here, but I don't feel that I'm not here either. I don't feel this is my life.
Yeah, Sandra, I can understand that. I understand. I understand that.
And to be honest, you know, if people think this is a fantasy or this is special or whatever, that's just what's happening. I have no issue with that. Normally, I don't talk about these things all too much because it's always been a problem when people say, when you're growing up and people say that they feel like a man and you have no such feeling of being a man or a human or whatever. You have no fucking clue what they are talking about when they say this is my life. I mean, where is the border then?
Sweetheart, I want to just mention that for me, since I know you, it's the most simple, direct, ordinary thing. The way you express, talk, also now this explanation. For me, this has nothing special. It's just how this is here perceived.
To be honest, when I was growing up, I would love to feel like a person. I would love to feel like a man. I had no goddamn clue when friends were saying that they feel like a man. I had no idea what they are talking about because those feelings were not arising. Not that I feel like a woman, but there was no feeling like a man or like a no man. I had no clue where they are talking about them. Here there was only the idea, what the hell is wrong? I don't feel I'm here.
who is it that doesn't feel like they're there?
I have no idea. I mean, it's not something separate. I mean, it's just what is. There's no other way to talk about it. I can say,
It's the same like who is there who claims to be separate to
yeah.
me. It's the same. So it doesn't matter. Who cares?
So that's why also for me the pointing is that it's the same. It doesn't matter if there is a feeling of separation. There's just a feeling of separation. Nothing here is ever done to not feel not separate, so to say. So I don't get the whole thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Rosa.
Boom.
Yeah, Rosa. Not caring is good. That's good.
Why is it? What about what if I care? If I care, is
It's
that
the
bad?
same. It's the same.
Oh, no, it's
Not
also
caring or caring is the
no.
same. There is totally no difference.
That's unavoidable.
Well, you're unconcerned.
Must be.
Sorry.
Yeah. There is no
What if you're
separation.
what
There
if
is
you
no
what if
way,
you're
no
unconcerned about
separation.
everything? Yeah.
Sorry, Giovanni. Sorry, Tony. I don't want to cut you off. Giovanni, you were saying something?
That suddenly, there is no separation. So it's almost like there is nothing more to say because it's just one,
But Giovanni, this
Go
is
ahead.
just
Yeah.
another this is just another landing spot. There is no separation. What does it mean there is
Can
no
be, yeah.
separation? What does it mean there is separation? Come on.
It means that there is nothing to look for, to search, to seek something beyond because it's
Okay,
already
let's
here.
turn it around.
Hmm.
There is seeking, searching, to look for, to know. So what?
Hmm.
So what?
Well, you should ask that for the person who is seeking and searching.
I can only see the perfection. And when someone is claiming that he is suffering because there is a need, which is expressed like searching for the sense of this, that's it. Neediness, full on. So what?
When I listen to these non-dual talks, I sort of like listening to somebody saying the same phrase in 10 different languages. Portuguese, Spanish, English, Chinese. They're all saying the same thing, but it sounds different.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be argumentative, Sander, by the way.
Oh, no, no, no. No, no, no.
I wasn't trying to take Tony's spot.
No, well, I mean, come on, you know, who cannot love this guy? You know, I mean, you know, Tony told me, can I be there again? And I tried to be well behaved, right, Tony? And I mean, you know, it did. I mean, it's just what's coming up, right? Even not behaving in a certain way and apologizing, you know, it's all innocent, it's all spontaneously happening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting,
that guy, that guy that was here before, he was my identical twin brother. He's a real douchebag.
Jim.
So he sent me instead. So yeah.
Oh, you mean Jim Rich?
No, I was trying to make a joke.
Ah, okay, sure. Something. No,
Okay.
I know. You
I
know,
didn't get the joke, but who cares?
but
He
I'm
was
more.
referring to his sibling.
Ah, yeah.
His
His
other
I said
personality.
what I meant was the guy who came first time,
Ah, okay.
who was a douchebag. That was my
Okay.
identical twin brother.
We have
So
we have this schizophrenic thing running
So
there.
he
Beautiful.
sent he sent the shy, quiet one to this meeting. So
Tony, you have an alter ego.
yeah, I guess so.
But we are all schizophrenics. That's the natural thing.
Yeah.
You know,
So
Tony, your
Sander, do you think we have an ego?
Well, in a way, it's all. This is ego. There's no one having an ego. There's no separated ego. We can say there's just the ego.
Yes, true.
Here, it's this. This is full on ego. But there, you know, there's no one having the ego.
Amor, is that, have I got that right? Pronunciation, amor.
Yeah, Amor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, a lot of these conversations, whether you want to call them non-dual or not, they end up being about language, you know, semantics.
Yeah, yes, of course.
You know, it's about words. You end up just trying to dice and slice words, and people use words and they just assume that you understand what they mean by that word. But you take that word and you use it maybe against them or with them without even realizing what they mean by that word. I mean, it just goes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like I like to use the word apparent and apparently, and a lot of people put down
Oh,
those
that's the worst word in non-duality,
Oh,
apparent, because it's a kind of an excuse to say, look, if you're talking about, say, the apparent other or the apparent individual, it's like you don't want to admit there's an individual, so you say, oh, it's just apparent. You see, it's a bit of a
Right.
But
Well,
there is no
it's also
individual.
like when people say landing spots. I think that anything that's said here turns out to be a landing spot.
That
which
seems to be a
which
favorite.
already is a landing spot. I mean,
We can say everything is just a landing spot. Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
saying there are no landing spots is the landing spot that there are no landing spots.
Yeah.
Like Tony is saying, it's semantics. You cannot,
No escape.
words doesn't, you cannot climb out of this with words or step into this with words. It, you know, you cannot do anything with it. It's not going anywhere. It's just
Hopeless.
You know, what's discussed in this Zoom meeting are these thoughts that preoccupy you when you're not on this Zoom meeting, because I never think about this stuff when I'm not here in this kind of discussion.
I do.
Oh,
For me,
I
there is
never
no
do.
difference. Oh, for me, there is no difference
Oh, I
if you're
see.
now chatting here or
Oh, I
doing
see.
like.
I see. I'm not preoccupied with these thoughts because for me, there's just life. You know, there's just life. That's it.
Yeah.
So, but of course, you know, you get this focus, don't you, when you come together?
No.
It also begs the question, doesn't it? Really, why do people want to come to such groups to discuss these things? What is the motivating force that makes
Why
people
not?
do it? No, nothing wrong with it. Because look, after all, here here I am, right? I
Yeah.
kind of well, let me put it this way, Rosa. There's something here that kind of likes the sharing. I can't say anything
Where,
more than that.
Tony, what, there is something where?
Well, here.
Here, over there.
Well, there
over
it doesn't.
there.
But
There is only
Rosa,
here.
Rosa also loved the sharing.
Rosa, there is only there. Look, I'm going to get non-dual with you now, okay? No, there is only here and now, okay? Right here, right now. But you could dispute that as well and say, well, you know, it doesn't matter. But okay, it doesn't
Tony,
matter. It doesn't matter.
I would say right here, right now is bullshit. But go on,
Yeah,
sweetheart.
but that's okay.
But it's always
That's
here.
fine.
Your
That's
there
fine.
is here. You know, it's always
Yeah, but
here.
yes, but then you're implying I'm saying right here, right now, as opposed to something else. There is
No.
only right here, right now. There is not something apart from right here, right now.
Here, Tony, by the way, here it plays here, it plays very simple. Whether I agree or disagree, and I feel free to boom out when I don't agree. Here is no issue with just expressing what ideas, thoughts. It's just vomiting out.
Yeah.
And it's
You
about
could
nothing.
say it,
I don't
you could
care.
say it,
I
you,
really
you could
don't
say
care.
it 10, you could say it 10 different ways, and I'd agree with you. Here, everywhere, nowhere, I'd agree with them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, Tony, when you say here there's just life, Rosa was also saying there's just life. I mean, are thoughts something else than life? It's all life. Saying
It's
that
all life.
no life
Yes.
or it's not life is in a way just life. What else?
But what I was trying to describe is something that is being, look, when I said I was talking about getting together and talking about this sort of thing, and I say, well, okay, there is something here that feels that it wants to share. No, that's an absolutely legitimate thing to say because that's actually being experienced. That's all. I mean, that's being experienced, and I'm assuming that everybody else who comes to these groups has some aspect there that sort of feels like sharing or wants to share or whatever.
Yeah.
Or wants
That's
to
completely innocent and spontaneous.
Maybe I want to simply add here to Garrett, sweetheart. I wanted to. Do you want to go?
Yes, I gotta go.
Wait a sec. I chatted with Emmy.
Yeah.
I sent him the thing which popped up with you, and of course you can do one-on-one with him.
Oh.
And he is totally open. But just send him a message. You are on Messenger, right? Just go on.
His Messenger, that's Facebook, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. On
Yes,
Facebook.
I know. Yeah.
Just go on Emerson Non-Duality, send him a message, or go on the website or on the YouTube channel. There you can click to the one-on-one, sweetheart. Of course.
I'm not in a hurry, but when I feel in the right mood, I will.
Yeah, be careful about getting your head popped.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, might not be the same anymore. But yeah.
I love your hat, Garrett.
My head, did you?
Yeah, take care of it, please.
Oh, righto. Okay. Yeah.
Sweetheart. Cool.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Right.
So let me.
I wanted to say something.
Please do.
The only thing I can see is that this is in a way here the sharing. For me, it's very ordinary, very normal. It's the same like I had a few hours ago, I had a job interview. It was the same.
Everything's normal.
It's just it's not about something. We can say this is here non-duality, blah, but it goes nowhere. No matter what it is. Also, the job interview, we can say it was about getting the job, but it's not feeling like this. It's just a communication, people talking, subjects, and this is here. So it's nothing special. Sweetheart, sorry. What do you want to say?
No. I love it. You know, and that's but some may be here because they think they can extract something out of going to non-duality meetings, which will be helpful, and that can be it too. I mean, it's as spontaneous and innocent as just wanting to share. You know, maybe there's a wanting to listen. For example, Patricia, sweetheart. Patricia is always joining and most of the time listening. and not sharing so much, right, Patricia? You want to share anything now?
Only if we force her to
No,
share.
I mean, if she, you know, Garrett always sometimes says, "Well, there are no words." I have actually nothing to say. So, Patricia, sweetheart.
Yeah, I don't have anything to share. I'm sorry.
You
I'm
want to
just
put your
in-
pick on? You pick?
Oh, sorry. Oh, wait a minute. All right. Okay. What's
Yeah.
happening? Yeah. No, I'm just enjoying listening to everybody. I don't really have anything to say. I'm sorry. I'm about half asleep as well.
Good night.
You know,
I've just had my dinner, so I just feeling tired after eating my dinner. But I'm enjoying the conversation. Yeah, it's good.
Lovely.
You and Rosa could eat together, couldn't you?
Yeah, we'll do that next time.
Right, sweetheart. I'm not alone then.
and Tony. Oh, sorry, Giovanni. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would
Tony
like
Guri.
to
Also,
bring back something that Tony asked about ego. I think there is each of us has a personality, a way of expressing preferences, likes and dislikes. Some like cold, some like warmth, some react quickly, others react slowly. And I call this personality. I think everybody has a certain personality, which is not a person. Then, okay, then I'll ask you, Sander, I see that you don't like it, but anyway, let me explain. The problem that the confusion that I see is when this personality is taken to be me,
Ah, yes.
the subject, right? It is not the subject, right? There is no subject, but there is a functioning that is called personality, a way of behavior, right? And that's what some people call ego, right? But
Giovanni. Why making it so complicated?
because it was brought up and it went through very quickly, and it just stayed here, and I wanted to talk about.
All those, I just noticed all those. Yeah, I get your point, of course. It's a beautiful pointing out, making things logical, explaining. But in a way, you said there is a personality, which is not a person, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What a bullshit. Come on.
No, there is a set.
Just to show. Just to show there is a personality which is not a person.
Yeah.
What is a person? You know, for me, there is no different thing.
It's like someone feeling that it is inside this body looking out from these eyes.
Yes.
This is a person. A personality is not someone inside this body looking out from the eyes.
Okay.
A personality is a set of reactions.
Okay. Then I definitely go with Sander. So here is also no person inside. Never was.
Nope. Yeah, never was. Yeah, that's what I mean.
So I definitely would say, yeah. Okay.
Person and personality are two different things, Rosa.
Yes.
Yeah, you can also say individuality, uniqueness.
Yeah, but individual is what is not divisible, and that could be the sense of here, of this, which is not divisible, and you could call it individuality.
There's not an end. There's no, yeah.
But the moment that you feel that you are inside the body, and you say that I am an individual, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, totally.
But the funny thing is, there's no one separated feeling in the body or out the body.
No, there is not.
So and of course, some say that the character. I find it also funny
character
when so-called non-duality speakers start talking as in the second person. I find this hilarious. You know, they say, well,
Yeah.
the character likes ice, you know, as if I mean,
this unit wants to sit down on a chair.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
come on, you know, this just for me it sounds so, you know, just you
Yeah,
know.
but nobody's talking like that here, right?
Oh no, 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 no.
Oh, this may happen. This may happen.
Giovanni,
May
no,
happen.
of course, because I mean, and if it would be in that case, then it's also, you know, spontaneous and innocent, but it tries to like to separate what already is not separated
Yeah.
by saying the character like eyes, you know, as there, you know, as to come across at, well, it's not me, it's just the character. Something else over there likes eyes, but it's definitely not me. I mean, come on.
Giovanni, what I would say is there is no such thing as a personality. There are only sort of snapshots from moment to moment of this meing, isn't there? It's like if you go and walk in the forest, you never see the forest, do you? You just see a tree, and then you see another tree, and then you just see all these individual trees, and then you say, I'm in the forest, this is the forest, but you never see a complete thing called a forest. So you never see a complete thing called a personality. There's only
Yeah, but
whatever thought is
yeah, but
arising, or
you
whatever
may
feeling or
like
emotion.
sweets, and I
Yeah.
may like salty food, right? That's part of what I call a character or personality. You may like warmth, and I like cold.
Of course, there are preferences, but that thought isn't
Preference.
in your mind 24 hours a day, is it?
No, but
It's
well,
just one thought and then another thought. So it's
yeah.
like, as I said, walking in the forest, you're just seeing different trees, even though you say this is the forest.
Yeah, you don't say this is my character, this is my personality like this. No, no. You don't even notice.
I mean, there is
It's
meing
automatic.
happening. Meing is happening. I mean, nobody can deny that there is this expression of a personality, but there's no entity that you can get hold of.
I would say Xander would deny that meaning is happening.
No, the funny thing.
Well, yeah.
No. Wait. This is funny because a famous non-duality speaker claimed as long as there's me and being, there seems to be a me. But for me, that's total bullshit. There's just meing and being. There's no one doing the meing or the being.
Well, I agree with you, Sander. That's correct. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But there is no one doing the meing or the being.
That's true.
Whatever this means.
Yeah, but you know, saying, well, sometimes it seems like so-called non-duality speakers would love to keep their followers in like in a certain state to earn money and to, I mean, you know,
it's the most amazing business model because you buy the videos, you buy the t-shirts, and whenever I listen, well, I don't know, but whenever I listen to someone like Rupert Spearer or someone like that, I'm always really conscious of the fact that he just wants
the pottery of Rupert Spearer.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he used to do that, didn't he? Ceramics, yeah. But he's just keeping people coming back to the satsangs. You've got to keep getting the hit.
Yeah.
You've got to keep getting the hit from the
That's the addiction.
satsang.
That's the addiction.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
There is in this, and I have also experienced this exactly with this consciousness awareness. There is a beautiful addictive thing going on there, which was here just unbearable. There was the point where I simply got allergic exactly to this addictive thing. And here, by the way, in German, like Felix mentioned once, seeking means Sucht, addiction.
Zucht.
Yeah, because in a way, everything is addiction. It's just like the neediness. Just
that's interesting.
And in a way, it just never getting enough, no satisfaction. Coming like eating and then it's done like a hole. Putting in, gone. And
I can get no satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're done eating now, Rosa. Yes.
Yeah.
So Rosa, are you fix and fertig, huh? Fix and fertig.
Oh, more than fix and fertig, sweetheart.
Oh, okay.
Fix and fertig is
okay.
not an expression at all here.
But you know what is funny when you seem to make the seeking dirty, you know, then there is, okay, this needs to stop. Oh, I feel still like me because I'm seeking, and then there's a continuity in going to meetings.
Exactly.
I hope that it will.
That's right. yeah.
Exactly.
It's
exactly.
like another so-called carrot packed in.
And you think that they're doing this on purpose, holding the carrot in order to earn money?
No.
Oh, who knows?
Well, I mean, yes, but it's innocent and
Sometimes
it's
not.
spontaneous in the
Sometimes
sense
not.
that this is free to play, holding
Yeah,
carrots.
exactly.
This
The
is
thing
free
that
to-
amazes me about these non-duality teachers is just how much they talk. They talk, they never stop talking. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of concepts.
They also get enormous feedback for what they're doing. Also enormous,
Mm.
like, oh my gosh, you are helping me so much. You know, this
Yeah,
helping
yeah.
thing is there. I mean,
Oh yeah, and you get somebody on, and then you get somebody on Facebook, and they say, you know, I went to this satsang, and it really fucking resonated with me. I mean, resonated. It really Whenever I hear that word resonate, I think, oh, what the hell are you talking about?
So sorry, Tony, I don't want to interrupt. Other Tony
Yep.
was holding up his hand. Maybe he wants to go, and I want to say, Tony, you want to say anything? Guri?
Yes, but I wait. He finished.
Okay. Okay, Tony, go ahead.
I'm not late. I am
Okay, okay.
Do-
time.
you wanted to say something, Tony, yeah?
Timeless.
You
Yes,
wanted to
but
say
I think that Tony Daniels was speaking, and I can wait.
Oh, no, I finished. I finished.
Finished.
But you had a good point, Tony. You had a good point.
It's when people use that word resonate, they're just taking some kind of concept, you know, some kind of idea, and it kind of makes them feel something, and they say, oh, I resonate with it. But you know, 5 minutes later, they've forgotten it. And then
So natural.
they forgot it. And then they say, oh, I have to go to the satsang next week so I can remember it all again. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and you know, Rosa talked about this also. This is maybe this neediness also, and this can play on until it stops, until it doesn't. But there's no, you know, it's free to be needy and to go there time after time to remember, you know, like a certain, you know, if I'm not there, then my life will go down the drain. I have to go there so I can fresh it up.
time after time.
So it's
Tony,
like,
come on, sweetheart, Tony Guri.
Yes, saying that I resonate or I don't resonate is a non-duality way to say I like or I don't like.
yes.
Nothing else. Nothing else. And yes, everything is absolutely useless, no? And anything is needed. And at the same time, here we are, no? Here we are, repeating, no? I'm enjoying, sharing, and yes, repeating the same things.
That's right. Yeah.
That's amazing. Only words, but sharing the magic of the words. No, the words are always the same, but create this magic is sometimes working, sometimes not. And when it works, it's fantastic. No, it's here. A lot of times it works. No, different words, different statements. Wow. And as always, when Sander speaks that he has never identified with being a man or being, and I resonate. No, I like this, but because that's the same here. No, I remember being astonished with people saying, for example, love yourself or be yourself. I thinking, what must be yourself? It's not other. Only you can do otherwise. Only can be yourself.
Totally, Tony, beautiful.
If this means something, that's not the case.
Beautiful, beautiful. Tony,
So-
Tony, this is so cool. I remember how I was in this spiritual, so-called non-dual spiritual meeting with this teacher. I totally loved it. And then I just boom out with, well, sorry, but I can only be myself. It's impossible not to be myself. What are we talking about here? This was so obvious, you know, and and it was always about non-dual stuff, like not yourself. There is no self, you know. And I was just like, oh my god. Okay.
Bullshit. And about decisions, I think that I never say I did or I decided, but because here has never been the feeling of deciding, no, has been always clear that decisions happen on its own, always. It's so clear, like opinions, that happens, and nobody decides going to the park, nobody decides to study this degree or marry this woman instead of this one. That's what there's not anybody having or making decisions. And yes, personality, character, yes, there's a profile, physical, this nose, these hands, this voice, these preferences, these abilities, this clumsiness, but obviously there's nobody having this clumsiness and that difficulties, and there's nobody. It's so obvious. It's so obvious.
So in a way, there is no relation to it's not about me. It's not me and my life. It's just life.
No. But the a pearl, a treasure that we have already found is saying that there's not any idea of me and about not me. It's not an issue, the me. No? Me nor me doesn't matter. There's a seeming character, physique, and preferences. And stuff happening.
Yeah.
Nothing else. And it's fantastic. It's well, fantastic and terrific and terrorific and horrendous sometimes, but nothing else.
Yeah, Tony, totally. Yeah, beautiful. Very simple.
Very simple, very simple, very simple. Sometimes speaking, it seems very complex or convoluted because of, well, mind, love, nuances, and complexity, but it's so simple. It's so simple.
Sweetheart, here, let me share a little story. Is it okay, sweetheart, Zanderlientje, because of the
yes.
time?
Oh yes, go ahead.
I was just cracking up, really, like, as I said, with this job interview. And this was so, of course, it's apparently about something there, getting the job, performing, putting yourself in the right light, which was impossible. I was cracking up. And in a way, I just noticed then that I was always putting it down to the simplest possible, to the most simplest, no matter what was said. And at the end, the guy, there were 4 people in it. At the end, the guy, the personal guy, said, you know what? I already did like over 100 interviews or more, job interviews, and this is the first time I'm seeing such a thing. And we were kind of cracking up. I say, well, I'm happy that I was able to entertain you, because for me, I just was myself, full on booming, without saying boom, by the way. And for me, it was very ordinary and normal. And I just saw how it's just, you know, but I cannot simply but not be myself. This is exactly what you said.
I
And
can imagine the interview. Wow, wow, wow.
no, you can't.
Yeah, but did you get the job? Did you get the job?
I don't. I highly probably not, but I have no fucking
Oh, you don't know
clue.
yet.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know yet. Yeah, thanks for sharing this. And I was wondering about Giovanni. Last time I can remember you were pointing out a thing with it's not feeling good. You know, there's something it's not feeling good. You know what I mean?
You have
Yes.
a bit more light, Giovanni. You have a beautiful face there, but it's dark. You have any more light?
It's the window that it's broken. Just a second.
Ah, oh, sorry.
You have also a very beautiful chair.
I am not because I wanted to say, you guys, Bernard, he was in the hospital.
Oh,
Oh,
why the okay, yeah, he had this.
yes.
Last week he had, there was so I sent him the link, and when he's feeling okay, he will join again. So
Okay,
Wow.
okay.
If he's seeing this, hello, Bernard.
Yeah.
Get better. Get
Get
better.
well soon, sweetheart. Yeah.
that's it. Giovanni, go ahead. Now we see you. It's nice.
No,
Now you are
Rosa,
bright as the sun.
yeah. No, Rosa brought up the not feeling good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was when we were talking, or I was talking about this spiritual non-dual teaching, blah blah, how the people are attracted like flies to the shit on it, you know. I remembered like I felt it felt really shitty here, everything very hard. And listening to this teacher, it felt cool. Ah, okay. It's just what's happening, you know, easy. So that there is this attraction to this until it isn't. And there was this feeling not feeling good and the need to change it, to feel good. But what I resonated the most was for me this ultimate therapy, I call it. What's wrong with feeling shitty? Over and over again, over and over again. Okay, it's shitty. It's shitty, so what? And then the interest in feeling good dropped because it was the same.
Yeah.
No matter how
That's what
painful it was. Yeah.
That's what I meant between choosing the good versus the bad. You know,
You want to explain more?
the moment you pick up the good and reject the bad, things don't work very well
You're fucked.
because you're yeah. Basically, that's what I wanted to say because it's going to be dark again.
But at
No,
the
it's
same time,
beautiful.
Giovanni, sorry, we only do this, picking the good and pulling the words. That's living. Living.
Yeah, I'm beginning to realize it. Yes, yes.
Oh, Tony, I resonated with something you said, Tony, towards the end of your last thing, when you said that you're not concerned about whether there's personality or no personality, me or not. You're not concerned about it, and that resonated with me.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the worrying about if there is a me or no me is spontaneously and innocent, and it can just evaporate like snow for the sun. When somebody say you have to not worry so much, there's already no you in a state of worrying, able to just drop it. At the same time, the trying to drop it, the trying not to worry is spontaneous, as is the worrying itself. This doesn't say that there's not, the trying may not happen. Trying to be more accepting may just happen, but it's innocent and it's spontaneous.
I can
Now
remember how I
again,
was listening.
I get that feeling that something stops. I cannot pinpoint what is it. but something stops, because either way, this way or that way, it's the same, it doesn't matter.
Oh
So
yes.
in a way, we stop choosing, we stop picking at least too much, because everything it is already anyway.
It's hard to escape what already seems to be the case. Yes.
Very hard, yeah. It's
It-
very hard to go elsewhere when there is no other place
and there's no one able to go anywhere. You
to
know,
go.
there's just the self. Let's call it that. Where is that
Yeah.
self to go then?
And if there's no
Impossible.
separation, then that means there's no resistance, because
Exactly.
there's not something resisting something else, is
No.
there?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that just dissolves.
But I mean, resistance may happen, Tony, right?
It doesn't really happen here, but
Oh, no, exactly. But I mean, that doesn't say all too much.
that's gone. But
Yeah, you can always tie it up in the end that even if that's happening, that's already it. It is.
Resistance.
It may sound repetitive, but it makes lots of sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't matter. It is already
And it's
this
not making
anyway.
sense is what seems to be happening. But it's the same with
Yeah.
resistance or the lack of resistance.
but well, yeah, maybe you could go a little bit deeper than that. I think I know what Rosa's going to say, but
I
Full on
don't know.
resistance, she's going to say. Full
Yeah,
on
yeah.
resistance.
It's only
there
just
can be
the
resistance or no. There can be resistance or no resistance. Well, okay, but then you could take that as being, if there's resistance or not resistance, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. It's
Because
just
because most people will say, if there's resistance, oh, this matters, this
Yes.
matters to me.
yeah,
But-
because
but
it's
if-
again good and bad. Resistance is
Yeah,
called
yeah, yeah.
negative.
But-
That's why.
Yeah, it's wanting.
And
Yeah,
when
exactly.
the idea, in a way, when the idea, or I don't know if just the idea, maybe it's also more than just an idea. I don't know. But when this drops, it doesn't matter. It's the same.
There's no
I don't.
resisting the resistance, Tony. Let's call it that.
Yeah, yes, exactly right. But you're well, it's going back again to what Tony said about being unconcerned, about personality being there or not. Well, it's also about being unconcerned about what the personality seems to do or not do, or likes or dislikes or whatever. The if you just, I never hear anyone use the word peace, but if there is peace, then you don't feel the resistance, because you just feel satisfied anyway. You don't want to change what's going on. I mean, it doesn't mean that things don't go wrong, or you might be in situations that are undesirable. But it's how you how they affect you. Yeah? So if you're unconcerned about what could be called an undesirable situation, that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about whether you're concerned, attached, in the sense that there is separation. But if there's no separation, even though you recognize that a situation might be undesirable, the resistance doesn't arise to it, because there is just a kind of acceptance. Put it that
Well,
way.
here it's not
Acceptance.
like this. Here is the resistance. When there is a situation what is not preferred, here is a resistance. There is no issue with the resistance.
Oh, okay, because you might want to change the situation.
Definitely,
and of course,
change
there's nothing
happening,
wrong.
and the
Yeah, of
situation,
course.
maybe I will. So, for example, I'm not
Yeah, I
feeling.
get that.
I don't feel good with here now, being here. I would just go. There is a change, definitely,
Action.
because I don't like it. There is a resistance to this. I go.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, of course, because you might want to change something, and of course,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. Exactly. Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. But it's so difficult to with words, really. It's
Yeah,
like
because it's about there is no sense in this. That's why.
it's like look, I mean, to use an extreme example, you know, if somebody was torturing a child in front of me, I wouldn't just say, oh, you know, I'm just non-dual,
Of
nothing's
course
happening.
not, Tony. Come
You
on.
see, I would do something about it, right? Right. So yeah, of course, you might want to change something,
but maybe not.
I
Maybe
think
not.
we are touching about action. And
about action. Yes.
what is real action that is
Well,
not instant from
I mean, I don't want to go into the real and the unreal of anything for that matter. It's real and unreal. But you know,
no,
when
not
there's a
real.
child tortured, you know, there's an action or there's no action, which is also an action. The action of no action, which is an inaction. You know, and this is spontaneous. You know, there can be a fear arising, not to interfere because there's a fear of the attacker of the child. There can be an attacking the attacker of the child. There can be money, but this happens without a you separated. This is just spontaneously direct one the other. You know, there's just kicking the attacker in the face or calling
Yes.
police. There's no way of knowing what will be the action
Exactly.
or the inaction.
Exactly.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. You just act.
Maybe crying will happen, crying, screaming for help. You know, anything may in that sense happen spontaneously and innocent in the sense that there's no separated doer doing the doing or the not doing. There's just action. Free. It's the same.
Boom.
It's the same with the liking. So I mean, I heard about that this message, and this is a good point, Tony, because many people say, okay, so I don't have I'm not here, so I don't have to do anything. This is total bullocks, you know. This is not about
Yes, it is.
accepting that the children are getting attacked and saying, well, nothing is happening. This is totally bullshit.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah,
This is
of course
the
you will
worst-
act.
worst
You will act spontaneously
Of
according to your
course.
conditioning or whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
whatever.
you will act. Yeah.
There will be an action or no action, which is also
Yes, I actually had someone say to me once, you know, if I'm not a doer, what's to stop me from robbing banks and murdering people? And I always say, well, would you do that anyway? Would that
exactly.
happen? Would that happen anyway?
It's
Why
a
is
great
it that if
question.
there's no doer, you would default to being a mass murderer? Why don't you default to being a saint? I mean, it's just the same, right?
Bizarre, yes.
Yeah. They kind of think,
Yeah.
oh, I've lost responsibility, therefore there'll be chaos and I'll do bad stuff. And I'm thinking, well, if there's chaos and there's no doer, why wouldn't you just do good stuff? Why do you automatically think you're going to do bad stuff?
I
It's
have no
quite
clue.
bizarre, really. It's really yeah.
Sometimes sounds a little weird to have to justify another time that not being concerned has nothing to do with torture, with murder. That has nothing to do. It's so obvious, so obvious. But we have another time to justify or to clarify something. It's so obvious. Has nothing to do. No, nothing to do. If someone is saying this is wanting to argue, I can't see anything else because of the obviousness. No, not being the doer has nothing to do with not wanting to torture a child or wanting to help someone or wanting to give bread to a star. It has nothing to do. Nothing to do. But we have to justify and clarify another time why. It's a little weird. No?
There's
here,
just
here it is felt like this.
yeah, Tony, there's just weirdness.
Yes. Very weird. Very weird.
I mean, ideas that, for example, so-called people from other countries or with other skin colors are less than other so-called people. It's already innocent, you know. There's no one. It's just what's arising. It doesn't mean that it makes it good, or that there doesn't need to do anything about it. It's just what's happening, and the doing about it and the thinking anything about that is already as innocent as thinking that it's bad or not.
Patricia, sweetheart, you're so sweet. I'm just watching you and just, you know, you're just so tired. Holding your face. Sweet.
Yeah, let's round it up.
Oh no, I didn't mean to do this, but I was just stunned by this view there from Patricia. So sweet. I guess Tony Daniels, it's time for your good morning coffee over there, huh?
Yeah, it's late. What time is it, Tony? Tell us.
3:30 a.m.
God,
Yeah.
it's the golden hour, Tony. You know, the 3:30.
Yeah, that's right. Now, Sander, you're going to
country-
keep yourself warm, aren't you? Because you've got this
Which country are you
cold Swedish winter on the way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in a couple of weeks it's going to be, and I know Celsius is not your thing, but we can have
Yes, it is. No, Celsius is my thing.
minus 40 we can have. Minus
Oh
40.
God,
Oof.
it's 3:30 a.m. and it's 28 degrees
Oh my God. 28.
Where are you, Tony?
in Thailand.
It's a
Oh,
war.
yeah.
Wow.
So I wonder how it is at 3 p.m.
Oh, well, actually, we're getting into sort of a cooler. Oh, I tell you, in the hot season, which is summer, April, May, where I am up in the north of Thailand, it can get up to 46
Ah.
Celsius. But it's very
I don't know
dry.
if I
Oh, it's
prefer
dry.
minus
Okay, that's
40.
good.
Okay, I don't know if
Huh?
I prefer minus 40 or plus 46.
It's a big difference. Big difference.
But dry is
Yeah.
good, right? Because moisture gives the pressure.
Yeah, well, luckily it's dry, yeah. But then in the other season, when it's still 30, it's also humid, and that's worse. You see.
Now I know. Now I
Sticky.
know. I will go in the between.
What, zero?
50%.
Between minus 40 and plus 40 is zero. That's
This
still
was just another greeting to my dear friend Emerson. Just going into the between, just melting, me and you melting into the between.
You should come here to Brazil, Rosa.
Oh,
Are you in
I'm
Brazil?
coming.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
Hey, Giovanni, you're in Brazil.
Oh, you're in
Brazil.
Brazil. That's really cool.
Right.
Brasilia.
Where?
No, Santa Catarina. It is the southern part of Brazil. It's a bit cooler.
And yeah, but you see, Rosa, you're in Hanover, right? You get quite cold winters there, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
I used to go to Berlin a lot, and the winters in Berlin are really, really cold.
Yeah, it's more in the northern part.
It's
But
also
yeah.
the wetness which makes it cold. Here, for example, the winters are cold but very dry. So you cannot make a snowman because the snow is too dry. So this is also different. When it's in the Netherlands where I lived before, minus 2-3 degrees and very wet, it's
Yeah.
more cold than minus
Yeah.
25.
It's
and
true,
very
sweetheart.
dry.
It's true. Like the cold is this wet cold is creeping through your bones. Yeah, it's just yeah, it's what it is.
Ah, yeah, of course.
It is.
Liking it or not.
Yeah, it's so innocent, you know, liking the cold, and then suddenly this may also shift, you know, in wanting more warm. Here I can see moving to maybe a warmer part of this earth, you know, when retirement is there.
Come to Spain, Sander.
Yeah. But there they have not much water in Spain. I was a couple of times in Spain, and you know, in some areas I was in Alicante. It's so dry, you know,
I
dry
also been there, sweetheart.
like a desert, and nobody has water anymore there because the big companies are drilling because the olive oils they produce.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and then there's no water anymore.
I think what you should do, Sandra, is book yourself into Muji's ashram in Portugal.
Oh no, sorry.
No, doesn't appeal, doesn't
This was
resonate.
this was a total bad joke, Tony. Sorry.
No,
Boo.
to be honest,
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
of course, but some things seems more likely. That's all I can say. Not
Yes.
happen, and that is definitely going to Muji.
But wait. Muji wants to retire, right?
Does he?
I heard that he wants to, yeah, he is not anymore able to hold the shit together there. It's too exhausting.
Oh,
It's sucking out the energy of him. So I think he wants to retire. He is not
not
anymore
enough.
that.
Not enough people are kissing his feet.
No, this is just an innocent information I got from Karl Renz.
Ah.
So I don't know. I don't know. It's all.
I think all the people are going crazy there. I think a couple of people killed themselves, didn't they? And yeah, it's
Oh.
crazy stuff going on there.
Okay, I must confess,
Crazy
I'm not
stuff.
up to date because
No.
I never was a follower, but okay. Yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry, emoji. Sorry.
So it's interesting. So here, Sweden, German, Brazil, Spain, Thailand, and Ireland. What a beauty.
Wow.
Well, I
An
think
international cast.
yeah,
Yes.
In Scotland,
Scotland,
Edinburgh.
no Ireland.
Oh,
Scotland.
Scotland. Yeah, come on.
She's awake. She's awake.
And Tony knows about Scotland because you asked.
Well, I'm from Scotland, but I
Oh.
don't miss Scottish winters, that's for sure.
Yeah. Wet, Scotty, cold winters.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
was that?
Cold winters.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it wasn't that cold last winter, so it's not always like freezing. So yeah, just
Oh,
we'll hope it's better this year.
I wonder if I should trust Patricia while saying this. It wasn't so cold last winter. Maybe you slept most of the time.
No. No.
I like to walk in the crispy snow, walking in that sort of crispy snow. That's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah, you
I'm
can't
just
beat it.
enjoying walking in the crispy leaves
Yeah.
and the
Oh, yeah.
crunchy leaves.
They're very crispy. Yeah.
You're all welcome to come to Sweden. I will feed you guys. The only thing you have to do is stay happy. Let's see if it works.
I've only been to one place in Sweden. That's Gothenburg. Gothenburg, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Took the ferry across from Norway to Gothenburg. Long time ago.
South. It's far away from here. It's
Mm.
more than a day travel. I think it's
Ah.
1,300 kilometers.
So, sweetheart, thanks for the invitation to come and visit you. So
Yeah.
the only thing I have to keep upright is my good mood, yeah, my happiness.
Yeah, let's see if it happens. And in the meanwhile, I give you all types of chores like shoveling dog shit and snow.
So that we are not bored.
You just have to stay happy the whole time. Only laughing.
I guess for me it's very easy. Maybe for Giovanni not so easy.
No.
I'm joking. No, I'm joking.
I'm also joking.
Well,
I am very serious.
Oh, the second one now. I thought this position had Gareth.
That's why your light has gone out, Giovanni. You're in the dark again. You see,
Yeah, I can't help
that's
it.
not happy, right? Where's the light?
Because my wife closed the window from outside, and
yeah, I would
I don't
also
know,
blame my.
I have to make some arrangements here is the light.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Well,
Beautiful.
I want to thank you all very much for joining. Giovanni, Rosa,
Thank you.
Tony, Tony,
Thank you, sweetheart.
Silent. Get a good night's sleep. Patricia, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a
Love ya.
beautiful
Yes,
night
Sander.
today.
See you
Thank you.
soon.
See you then. See ya. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.